handpicking versus blind buying. But, Spen, what is handpicking and what is blind buying? Do you mind giving us a bit of a rundown? Of course not. So, for those that aren't aware, I'm talking obviously about clothing reselling and buying and that sort of thing. When we look at handpicking, we focus on the individual hand picking. I'm only saying it like that because it's called hand picking, but I know that out of context it might sound a bit strange. So hand picking, the art of going out and individually sourcing items, be it through charity shops, car boots, with wholesalers, however your process of doing that. Hand selection, hand picking, buying items individually online or however it is. Hand picking. And then blind buying is buying stock in either good faith or at big quantities from maybe not reputable, but just individually people that are selling those quantities. So the reason why I've made this as a versus sort of topic is because I think that a lot of people will use this, like both of these, in totally different ways. So my entry point to either of these has been that I started as a hand picker. The first thing I did was I hand picked stock. That's how I started. I got a good understanding through that of what I was looking for, and it helped me understand exactly what it is that I wanted to sell and what I knew. Then after sort of building up and getting into, I'd say, a relatively established brand where I needed to buy more stock to facilitate the growth that I was having, hand picking kind of like was a little bit limited there. So then I went into bulk buying via blind buying. So bulk buying, just buying in bulk, and blind buying in blind. But I have come back to hand picking, and this is where I'm going to sort of like break down the hand picking and the blind buying for you outside, as somebody who might be interested in getting into this, or might just want to know more about what I did, or you're just curious as to what all this is all about. So hopefully I can shed some good light on this for you. I think that people who start brands and people who sell clothing, I think that the most important thing to do is to start hand picking. The reason why hand picking is the most important way to start with your brand, to start with your reselling journey, is that the lessons you learn through the items you find individually, going out and finding them, you get a good feel and a good nature for quality of products, authenticity of brands. You can sort of look through tags and see that. You can sort of see what goes wrong with set materials. Something like a knitted jumper where the seams can come undone, or a hoodie where drawstrings can be disadvantaged from, just wear, or certain little details that you can notice. But what I think is important about that as well is you get a good sense of the second hand and the sort of resold economy of like genuine and authentic condition of products. One big thing that I'm sure people who buy blind, or wholesalers out there that will definitely agree with me on this, I'm sure, but how many people buy from you in a bulk that's their first time and send you a message straight afterwards like, I'm not happy with what I got, I wasn't expecting this. They feel misadvertised to, because they've not understood the whole ceramic of the hand picking nature. I think that in order to appreciate wholesalers via blind buying, you have to appreciate the job of going out and individually finding it. Now, this might be, and like just a little shameless plug, this might be coming onto my Tilt stream and buying individual items that you're seeing. This might be going to charity shops or going to a wholesaler's website that has individual items for sale. Or, the other hand picking that they do is where they do like certain wholesalers and suppliers, they'll do virtual video calls where you individually go through a pile and say yes, no, and do it like that. But I think that was something that they integrated during like the COVID times. I don't think that's the great thing to do, to say that it is the same as hand picking. It is, but you're not hand feeling. And I think that the fact that it's called hand picking means that you're getting to feel it in your own hands. And there's such an important about feeling the fibre, feeling the fabric, seeing an item, looking at the marks, and just getting an understanding for products in this industry. So many people will think that the best way to start things off is to buy in bulk, because that's a quicker scale. But I think that if you don't understand the product and you don't understand the process at a very small scale, you will lose sight and lose a lot of respect, plus a genuine lack of understanding on how this industry actually works. The old age thing of there's not actually a never-ending supply of Nike spell-out sweatshirts or Ralph Lauren quarter zips is probably another thing that you get heard from with suppliers as well. So I want to try and look at both of them in a realistic way of like looking at the pros and cons of hand picking and blind buying, and then to try and give some conclusive like response to it. So with hand picking, I think the genuine pros of it are that you get to understand exactly what you're looking at. You get to basically even if you didn't buy anything when you was handpicking, you get to teach yourself for free. You get to look at these brands, look at the labels, start to understand Ralph Lauren. Oh, they did Pima cotton, they did merino cotton. Oh, they've got this Blake, they've got this Yarmouth line. These are all like very minute details, but you start to understand certain parts of a tag that you could then notice, take that to Google afterwards and have a little comparative like research on, you know, what you can find out about these tags. But you wouldn't find that from buying blind. So handpicking allows you to basically get free knowledge, free game on the whole industry, teach yourself without having to spend money, and you get a genuine understanding of the model and market. So the other thing that I think is really good about it is, with handpicking, is you can do it on much less cost. So handpicking, essentially, you buy what you want. If you go into a supplier and you only buy in like very small amounts of stuff, you can probably expect to pay a higher amount because they work in bigger bulks. There's a big ecosystem with that I will save for other videos as well. But the underlying things are that it's good knowledge. It's an individual nature of picking items. The only con I would say is that it can be a big time constraint. You've got to have time to put in to go to look for all of these products, to go and source all the items individually, to go and create this system where you're buying all this stock, and you're doing that. But all in all, it was the reason why I started doing that was because I was doing it every day and I was learning about different parts of the industry constantly, and it just really helped. And that's why I'm still back here now. Being back here, handpicking after doing 10 years of blind buying and big bulk buying is such a breath of fresh air, but that's not the point of the video. So I'll come to that at different points. There's so many videos I'll do, trust me. One a day. And I'm sorry if I sound like all pathetic and coldy. Blind buying. The pros of buying blind, right, are that you get to fast forward the scaling process through a means of buying more clothing very quickly. You can buy lots of the same product quickly. You can get more online very fast. You don't have to basically take your time to go and look at stuff. You can see some North Face fleeces in a bundle, buy them at a kilo, buy these graphic sweatshirts, whatever you're looking for, buy it in 50 quantity, have it online, and then there you go. The cons of it are that your expectation of what you see on a listing of a product is going to be different to what you receive if you haven't before understood what it is that these products are. So if you want to buy North Face Denali fleeces, but you don't actually know how much the Denali fleece variates in its style, then you're just going to presume that you're going to get 50 of one style. If you've not looked at the range of different branded sweatshirts through Puma to Adidas to Everlast to Nike to Reebok to Ralph to all those brands that it might be consisted of, then you will not have a good understanding of what those possible opportunities are. Plus, but bootlegs are a byproduct of it, and different qualities are also a byproduct of it relative to suppliers and the prices. I would just say that blind buying is something that you should do after firstly building up a good reputation with the supplier, understanding hand picking, being a part of this industry for maybe, I would say don't buy blind for up to 6 months of working with a supplier at least 2 or 3 times. I think that you want to work with somebody that you think has, you don't have to worry if they've got your best interest, but you bringing business to them is, and them bringing business to you is a win-win for both of you. So it does work in that honest way. Again, it's all relative to like the suppliers and things like that. But blind buying, I did it for years, and I only had my fingers burnt once. And after having that, I also got reimbursed by the supplier at the time because of the situation that seemed like it was something that shouldn't have happened. But I was using them for 6 or 7 years, and this was an overseas client. And yeah, we had an underlying loyalty and respect. He knew where I was in the situation and the game of the vintage, and I knew where he was in the supplying game and the chain. And also, he knew that I knew what I was buying, and I knew that he knew what he was selling. So realistically, putting some respect on the people that have been in this industry for a long time is the biggest factor in what separates the hand picking from the blind buying. So if you're interested in this, go out to your local charity shop, go out to your local car boot next summertime because it's freezing and windy now. Go on my till or go anywhere. Go somewhere where you can individually look at the products, individually learn about them. And if you still find it fascinating after hand picking, give blind buying a go. And yeah, hopefully this video finds you well, guys. So funny, I don't think I've actually done any work.